Hi everyone. Okay, good afternoon to everybody. Okay, so sorry for starting late. Like I explained on the chat, there was a call going on for another track. Okay, an office hour going on for another track, and that's why that session didn't close as at when it's ought to. Okay, so sorry about that. Still something we'll be working towards to fixing so that we can have a seamless experience. But good afternoon, and we're going straight to today's office hour. It's Samuel here, okay? And if you can hear me, can I just see a wave, okay, or just say something? Good afternoon. You can just reply me if you can hear me. If you can hear me. Okay. So today I'll be going through some of the questions that we have. If you have other questions, you can put them on the chat box. I'll be going through the chat box as we proceed. Okay. Okay, I can see some questions from the week one. We had some questions after our last section for week one, week one form. Okay, so I have about 3 or 4 questions here, so I'll just answer them quickly. Okay, hello, are the office hours compulsory? I think we've gone through this over and over again, that they are not compulsory. If you missed anything in our live office hours for last week, you can just pick one of the office hours for last week and go through, and you'll be able to get acquainted with what we did last week and what has been said last week. Okay. So I was only able to join one of the course, but the track were all owned by default or vice versa. Okay, in as much as when you click say, okay, you enroll for a particular course, yes, there'll be like a standard, a default track, but then you can change it. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is you changing it to what you want, okay, to the track you want. So it can be changed. You just didn't change it when you were supposed to. Okay. There won't be an advanced course with Zuri team. For now, there won't be an advanced course. We just focused on beginners. Okay, the whole idea is to give beginners the foundation so that they can be able to go through, basically grow by themselves. Okay, build on what they've learned during this training and grow. Okay. After, please, where can I access the course content or backend? Okay, all content, these are questions we've already answered before. All contents can be found on the LMS. They're posted on the LMS to go through the LMS. The form already is already on the LMS. So it's both on the LMS and it's on Slack. Okay, that's the question form, but the course is all LMS. Your task is on the LMS. Okay. So we'll just go to the questions we have for this week. Okay, so this week, last week we did GitHub, and then we went into programming. Okay, we had an idea of what programming is, and this week we'll be going into programming, really writing stuff. Okay, and one of the programming language, okay, the programming language we'll be using for this course, backend NodeJs, is JavaScript. So the idea is that you start learning the programming language before you can be able to learn the framework in the programming language, that the framework that uses that programming language. So JavaScript is a programming language and NodeJs is the framework. Okay, so we're starting with the programming language itself, JavaScript. And then this week we'll be going through variables, we'll be going through data types, okay? And just scratching the surface of JavaScript, and then next week we'll go in depth to some of the harder concepts in JavaScript, okay? Not really hard, more complicated, okay, harder concepts. I think that just suits it. Okay, so I'll just go through the questions now, and then after going through the questions, this is different from front-end track, okay? Though JavaScript is the same, front-end, back-end, JavaScript is the same. It's just that when learning, most times emphasis are given on a particular area because of the framework you'll be using, okay? But JavaScript is the same, okay? Front-end, back-end, JavaScript is the same. While front-end can use plain JavaScript, okay? Just vanilla JavaScript to be able to push through. Node backend for the server side, not so much. We have to use a framework. The framework has to be incorporated. We can't use a vanilla JavaScript, that's plain JavaScript, to build the server side of a website, of a web application. No, we need that Node.js. Node.js is what makes it server side. Okay, so basically for now it's the same front end, back end. It's not the same JavaScript. Okay, backend parties projects. Okay, sites where you can find backend parties projects. Okay, I would check and I will get back to you. I hope you're on Slack. Okay, I hope you're on Slack. The person that asked this question, I hope you're on Slack. So I can be able to get back to you on Slack for practice projects. But like I said, in our courses, by the time we enter into Node.js, we're just taking the foundations now, but by the time we enter into core Node.js, like there's a project that's attached to the normal videos, you'll be normal course content. Now, the course content is building a project. You can be building something. The instructor is taking you through the process of building something, building a server, building a for something. Basically, you're doing something. There's an end goal. When you watch the videos that the instructor is trying to achieve, there's something the instructor is want to achieve. You're expected to go through, code along with the instructor. Okay, as the instructor is coding, from now, you are expected to start coding along with the instructors. Okay, so whatever you see the instructor do, you replicate it, see that it works for you, it works in your system. If it doesn't work in your system or it doesn't work for you, you have to now check your code, is it correct, that kind of thing. But basically from now on, you have to start coding along. Okay, so like I was saying, the instructors have some applications you're doing during the courses or during the content, and you're expected to code along to achieve the same results the instructor achieved. Okay, but outside that, there's a mini project, okay, that's being attached that you don't complete in 1 week. You don't complete the project in 1 week. The project is built stage by stage. So depending on, okay, so this week I talked about there's introduction to Express. Okay, we'll be using Express, by the way. But let's say this, but what I don't want to go into what we're doing for other weeks, but it's more like, okay, what example will I give? Okay, but basically, you'll be building everything based on your knowledge for that week. Okay, so this week, we're going to be starting off with JavaScript. So the part of the project that had to do with the parts of JavaScript we'll be treating this week, you will do them. You will do that part for that project. Next week, we'll do another part of JavaScript. You will build upon that project, the same project. So you just open that project and you add some codes to that project. The other week, you add some codes to that project until at the end, the whole idea that at the end of your course, that project should be fully functional. Okay? At the end of your training, that project will be fully functional. And this is outside the project you'll be doing for project fees. The project you'll be doing for your project fees is different. That one is just for practice. It's optional. It's not compulsory for everybody, but it's something I just felt it would be nice to have you get your hands dirty on, even as you following the instructor, you have your task. Your task will be your task as at that point will be for you to build something. You'll be building something with your task. But even as you build something with your task, just a small project for you to see how you can easily build on existing structure. Okay, you will see, basically you will be able to meter your goals. Okay, you see your goals level. Okay, so last week, this is what I could do. This was all I could give to this project. This week, my knowledge has increased. I can add something more to this project. You add, okay. Next week, something is added, and then I add to that project. Then upper week, the same thing. It's just like, so as you're growing, you're adding to the project. As you're growing in knowledge, you're adding to the project. That's basically the whole idea. Okay, are we getting a video lecture on courses? No, you will not be having any video lecture on courses. The only video lecture on courses you'll be having is the one that has been posted to you. That's the only pre-recorded. But if you're talking about a live video session like what we're having now, and then I would go through a course, turn off my screen, and then open VS Code and start, programming. We'll not be having such, okay, live classes, so to say. What we have is pre-recorded classes. They're already on YouTube. The classes have already been done, just for you to go watch the content, learn from it. If you have any questions, you come to the office hours, like what we're having now. You ask your question, okay, you get clarity, and then continue from there. the course will cover everything you need to know to be a backend Node.js. Okay, every fundamental thing, all the fundamentals you need to know to be a backend Node.js engineer or developer. Okay, let's not go get ahead of ourselves to say engineer, developer, a backend Node.js developer. Okay. Okay, the Express I said is kind of a, can call it a framework or a library that we'll be using along with Node.js. I don't want you to get don't get carried away by that. Okay, don't get carried away that we're going to be using. When that time comes, you will know exactly. You will have full knowledge of what Express is and why we are using Express. Okay, when that time comes, so just go with the flow, go with the pace. Okay. Yes, there's a Slack channel for this track. Okay, there's a Slack channel. Think it's backend Node.js. Yes, backend Node.js. Um, Once you go to Slack and you just start typing, you do hash, not star now, hash. That's hash, and then you start typing backend. It should give you the list of channels. Okay, that starts with backend. You'll see backend with JS there. Okay, if you feel behind already, don't worry. We just got started. Okay, we just got started. How do we use the course on GitHub? Okay, then the course on GitHub is basically for you to go through. I think it's you're not to it's quite simple. Just click on the link. If you direct you on where to go, like you'll be seeing it basically on the screen. Okay, but what I would do for you is to um go through that. Okay, that's week 2 GitHub JavaScript basically. Uh, okay, JavaScript fast learning. Okay, just give me a second. Let me go through this. Okay, so once you click on the GitHub link, if you go down, you will see what you'll be working with majorly is the README. Okay, for that GitHub link on beginner of JavaScript beginner. Okay, it's very informative. That link is very informative. You will not be only using it this week, you'll be using it next week also. Very informative. So for you to go through what's the content, okay, you have to work with the README. Okay, once you see the topics, you see variables and data. When you go to the README, you see topics number 1, variables and data types, functions and methods, making decisions with JavaScript, then arrays and loops. Okay, if you want to start with variables and data types, you click on variables and data types, it takes you to still on GitHub, a little explanation on variables and data types. Okay, it just takes you through. You are reading, it's like more like a book. Okay, so you read it. Okay, variables, data types. So you read, you assimilate. There's a pre-lecture quiz, there's a post-lecture quiz for that content. You can go through those quizzes. Okay, so you pre-lecture quizzes before you start, you do the quiz. Post-lecture quizzes. By the end of what you finish reading, you go through another quiz. Okay. For now, there's no other screen for coding. It's just that back end Node.js office hour screen for now that is being displayed. Okay. If there is need to display another screen, that screen will be displayed for. But for now, there's no need. Okay, and that's why we're not displaying on that screen. That's why we're not displaying on that screen. Basically, but if there's a need for it, yes, we'll display on that screen. Someone's saying I should show my screen. Okay. Okay, I would show my screen, but I would like to go through all the questions first, so that by the time I show my screen and all, we could just use that to end the session, basically. Okay, so I'll go through other questions and I'll come back to that question about using the GitHub link that was being posted on as one of the resources. Okay, the GitHub link for that being posted as one of the resources. In the grading process, you don't need to worry about the grading process. The grading process is transparent. There's a grading criteria, okay, and every grader adheres to this grading criteria, okay. So it's more like there's a marking scheme, okay. Just know that there's a marking scheme. So somebody's not going to think, oh, I just feel that this code had not been written well, so this person did not do this well. No, there's no issue about that. There's a grading criteria. If it's working, this is the score. If it's not working, this is the score. If the link is accessible, this is the score. If the link is not accessible, this is the score. There's a basically standard grading criteria for everybody. Okay, that's being used across. Your score was being weird, but if you got a weird score, I'm very sure there should be a feedback attached to that score. So your feedback will tell you where the issue came from or why you got a score that was lower than the total attainable score. Okay. The README link, whatever, that question was for someone that had already gone through the resources on the LMS. Okay, so there's a resource on the LMS already. Okay, there's a resource on the LMS. I think I should go through the LMS. When I'll be giving the video, I'll go through the LMS. Okay, and a lot of tabs I have here. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Like I said, every video, every content you need has been dropped on the LMS. Posts. The difference between posts and task. So in the post section, that's where your resources are being dropped. In the task section, that's where your task are being dropped. I don't know how it is in for your user experience for you guys, okay, as participants, but that's how the user experience is for me as a mentor. Okay, we have different user experiences, okay, so to say, like, which ought to be, because we're the ones grading you. Participants can't grade participants. It's basically mentors that are grading participants. So definitely you would emphasize that we have basically different user experience. During week 1 task, we were asked to submit link or profile located using Google Docs. I didn't see the video on how to do that earlier, so I submitted only my GitHub profile. How do we submit other links? So if you just submit, one of the best links, this is a cheat now. although you're supposed to adhere to instructions. If the instruction says submit a Google Doc file, please submit a Google Doc file, not a GitHub link. Okay, but one of the best links that can be submitted across all boards is your GitHub link. Okay, because if you were to submit another link, you could easily attach that link as a README. In your README, you attach it to your README. Okay, you attach it to your README. Attach the link to your README. The person will see it in your README in GitHub. So one of the best things from experience I've seen to submit to the GitHub. So if you submitted it like that, if there are other links for you to submit, please attach them to your GitHub as README file. Okay, in your README file for that GitHub repository. Okay. Oh, sorry. You said you submitted the GitHub profile. Okay, now that's where there's issue, not a GitHub repo. Okay. If you submitted only GitHub profile, if that's all they require for you to submit, okay, fine. But if that's not all they require for you to submit, you only get the mark for GitHub profile. Okay. I got it that wrong. What you submitted was GitHub profile and not a GitHub repo link. A GitHub profile link was what you submitted and not a GitHub repo link. Okay. Please, when are we getting the week 2 resources? Week 2 resources are out already. Okay, do I need to learn pure Node.js for a while before getting into Express? I won't answer that question because it does not have anything to do with what we're doing this week. What we're treating this week is JavaScript, not Node.js. Okay, so please, on the data types, so this is that we have 6 data types in learning materials. Okay. Well, the answer 6 was listed as an option. Okay. Okay, I won't give you the cheat now, but there are more than, if there was a part whereby it was recorded 6 data types, that's not correct. We have more than 6 data types in JavaScript. Okay, we have more than 6 data types in JavaScript. And if you are in doubt of the number, just you can just Google it. Okay, easy. Google it and do. I know that's like giving you a cheat answer, but there are not 6 data types in JavaScript. Yes, you can say there can be 6 main data types in JavaScript, like what you'll be using more often, what you're likely to encounter on a daily basis while using JavaScript. Yes, they can just be restricted to basically 6. Once in a while, the others can just fall in, but it's not always you see the other data types coming, okay? But basically, yes, generally, the basic data types, okay, basic data types can be 6, but that's not all the data types that we have in JavaScript, okay? You need help on how to access the elements. Okay, I'm really confused about this question because the LMS is the first. Then how did you come into Slack if you were not on the LMS on the first place, or you've lost your password or something? I don't know how to help you. Okay, but basically your LMS is supposed to be accessible to you. That was the first workspace you were invited into before this whole Slack thing started. So for you to be a bona fide member or participant of this cohort, the criteria is that you should be on the LMS. If you're not the LMS, you don't have a score, we cannot grade you, you don't have a standing, and that means basically you won't have certificates. Okay, if you're not on the LMS, you won't have certificates, you won't have anything everything you except for the things we post on Slack, which I don't know how you enter Slack when you're not on the LMS. I don't know how that is possible, but it's going to be, the program will be very weird to you, okay? Because there's so many things that will not be posted on Slack that will not be focused on the LMS, okay? Okay, how would I explain? Someone is asking, and is there a difference between Node.js and JavaScript? How would I explain this? Node.js uses JavaScript, is built on JavaScript. Without JavaScript, there will not be Node.js. That JS you see, when you say node, then that JS you see is JavaScript. Node, JavaScript. So without the JavaScript language, there won't be Node.js. Node.js is built on it. Okay, it's using its syntax, it's using its it's basically using the syntax of JavaScript. It's using the language called JavaScript to build a server-side, the server side of an application. That's the best way I think I can explain it. Okay, just like you say, block, a block, okay, a building block is made up of sand, it's made up of cement, it's made up of water, okay. Everything has to be in its right consistency, okay. This combination of these three things can be mixed on the ground, and you have not attained block yet, okay. You have not attained block yet. But you cannot say block is not a combination of these three things. By the time you see block, you just see it as one solid mass, okay? You can't say the building block is not a combination of sand. So you saying what the difference is, it's just a mixture of these things. And even this example I'm giving is just way out of line, you know, when it comes to Node.js and JavaScript. Node.js is building on JavaScript, basically. That's what I can just say. It's building on JavaScript. Exactly. Oluwagbemiga. So our office hours are for Q&A. Classes will not be live. Exactly. Okay, and you are seeing Node.js in your calendar because you didn't enroll for pure front end. I wrote for front end and back end. You enrolled for the full stack option, and the full stack option you enrolled for is both front end and Node.js. Okay, and despite what you see on the calendar, how you will be able to test what you actually enrolled for is on the LMS. Okay, are you receiving Node.js task? Are you receiving Node.js resources? If you are, that means you are already enrolled for Node.js. And I think the change of courses and all that, I think it's ended by now. It should be ended by now. Not so sure about that, but I think it should be ended by now. And that means you stuck with us, okay? And if you still hope you guys are still following and you understand what I've been saying. You don't need to add the number of the questions to your answer. Just the way you saw an example. An example was given to you on how you should write your answer. Write your answer like that. It didn't say no. Just write your example. You saw an example. Write your answer just as the example said. Okay. We've not gone into Node.js yet. Okay. Like I said, there's a channel for Node.js, okay, for backend Node.js. but there are people offering only backend Node.js. There are people offering front-end and backend. So front-end, they're learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript. At the backend, they'll be learning Node.js. So for those people, this week is one of your best weeks. Okay, this week is one of your best weeks. Because you'll be learning JavaScript. And I don't know whether you're already into JavaScript yet, but if you learn JavaScript for Node.js track, okay, now we're treating JavaScript as backend Node.js. When it's time for you to learn JavaScript for your front end, it will be way easier for you. Okay, it will be a breeze for you because you already learned it already. Like I said, it's the same programming language. JavaScript for front end is not different than JavaScript for backend. Where they now differ is now the framework being used. Front end uses React, backend uses Node.js. Not just React, we have Angular, we have front end uses. Front end basically have there are so many that are coming out for front end. For backend, not so much. We have Node.js, we have Express.js. I think that's that one for backend server side. For front end, we have Next, we have React, we have Angular, we have a lot is coming out for front end. But don't worry. You are not meant to learn every framework for front end. You are not meant to learn it. Learn every one of them. You pick one first, you digest that one, you are good in it. Okay, if there's any project that anybody brings, you can be able to deliver using that framework. Then you can advance to incorporate another framework into what you have. And then, so it's going to pretty take a lot of time, okay, a period of time for you to be able to incorporate even up to 3 frameworks, okay? But don't worry, you'll get there. Yes, we'll be building projects, okay? We will be building projects, not just a project. We will be building projects in backend with this. We'll be building projects. So get ready. If you enroll for front-end HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then you have no business with us in backend Node.js, okay? You may have just added that calendar, the other calendar. You may have just have added the other calendar, but that's whatever you added in that calendar will not be used as a gauge to score you or to grade you, okay? You're not having your JS task, you're not having your JS resources on your NMS, so you're free. Yes, you're free to go, basically. Okay, so I think this is, if there are no more questions, I'll just go through that particular resource. I want to just go through that particular resource. Okay, if there are no more questions. I'm done with the questions on the response form. At the end of the training, how good will you be? You will be good enough to undergo internship, okay? You will be good enough for an internship. You'll be good enough to build projects, okay? You will be good enough to collaborate with people to build projects. And that's all dependent on your availability, your seriousness, basically, if the amount of time and focus you give to the program. Those factors, they affect a lot. But I'm just taking it for the person that is focused, the person that has all these factors checked, you'll be good enough for an internship. So go into an internship and do well. Okay, during the internship, you will learn more, and then you enter from the internship or bootcamp, as the case may be. but I would like to call it internship, not bootcamp. Bootcamp pretty means more like what you'll be doing in the project phase. Okay, but internship gives you real life projects. You're working with a company, you are involved in the company's solution, the company's projects. So you can see how what you are doing, you are seeing the money it's making for the company, you're seeing the resources, you're seeing the amount of resources put into building applications, you can see the time. Basically, you are in the game. Okay, then put it like that. No, this I mean, I'm not supposed to answer anything concerning front end and Python, but definitely there are different calendars. These are different things. Yes, we said full stack is front end and back end, but then you should know that there are courses, that people that offer only back end, there are people that offer only front end. So definitely they will have different calendars. Okay. You do not get assigned to any company at the end of this program. Okay, you're not assigned to any company. There's no provision for that. But what I would say is, depending on your mentor during the project phase, at the time you'll be doing project phase, or you'll be wrapping up the project phase, depending on the mentor that will be assigned to you, the mentor can decide to post opportunities. And the opportunities that would arise, the internship opportunities that will come out, okay, during the time you will be concluding your project phase, yes, we would let you know, we will let you get informed so you can apply, that kind of thing. And I think that is dependent on the mentor that will be assigned to you for your project phase. Me personally, I do it, okay, try to give resources to participants for internship, or places, links for them to register and grow. Okay. So yes, and once a material has been posted, or once there's a post for week 1 or week 2 or week 3 or week 4 or week 5, it's not deleted. And every post on the elements is not deleted, it's there. Okay, so at any given point, the only thing is that you will have, if you are, especially for those who are often full stack, front end and back end, you would have to, go to back. You have to go to the previous page, go to the previous page to be able to see the particular post you're looking for. Okay, the particular week you're looking for. That's as at home, we're already in week 7, week 8, thereabouts. Okay, but basically every resource is on the, or link to the resources. Okay, and when I say every resource, I mean the link to the resources. They are pasted on the LMS. The Python class and HTML class will not be the same. You have two different separate classes. Okay, you will attend the HTML class separate. You will attend the Python class. That's Office R, and that's why that's why we made it. The Office R is not compulsory. You cannot, for time sake, okay, and then what time would you use to go through the content if you're going to be attending all the Office hours as a full stack student? There won't be time for you to go through the resources if you want to say, okay, you want to go through all the Office hours. So you're exempted. Just pick the Office hours you want to attend. When you have questions, when you have needs, okay, you pick the Office hours. If you didn't go attend any Office hour and then you heard from your teammates or your fellow students that Office hour was a bomb, I learned a lot, there was a lot being said, the Office hours can be accessible on YouTube. You just go to YouTube, search for that particular Office hour, okay, for that day. You take it and you can watch it. Okay, you watch it, but that will not be live. Yes, you may not have the opportunity to ask the questions for that office hour, but if you have any questions regarding that office hour, you can put it in the form so that it can be treated in the next office hour. Okay. I'll be sharing my screen now so that I'll walk you through the think you can attend as many office hours as you want. Okay, you can attend as many office hours as you want. Can you see as the screen changed for you? Okay. Um, that seems. Okay. I don't see. I don't know how clear my screen is for you guys. Okay. Um. Okay. I think it's bigger now. So this is the resource that the person gave, was asking questions about. So this is basically the resources. Like I said, you get links to resources. So with two NodeJs resources, you have this, 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 and you have this. Okay, you're expected to go through every one of them. Okay, so we'll just start. This is the GitHub link that was in question. Okay, that the person asked about. So we'll just go into it. Okay, I'm greeted with this page. Let me see. Okay, so this is the README I was telling you about, and introduction to JavaScript. JavaScript is the language of the web. In these 4 lessons, you learn this. It's basics. Okay, the topics we'll be handling here is variable and data types, functions and methods. Okay, making decisions with JavaScript, arrays, and loops. Okay, so this is what we were interested in. We'll go to variables and data types. Oh, so we're greeted with this, and so we have to basically with this page you can learn a lot. Okay, so under variables we have 3 different keywords. Var tells you what var is, let, const. Okay, and then we have an example of a code sentence, basically, or a declaration of a variable. Okay, so you have the keyword, the variable name, and the assigned value. So we have data types here. Just in a nutshell, it just gives you everything. Basically, it just gives you everything in one in one picture. But yes, this is what we're talking about. I'm talking about the pre-lecture quiz. Here, you go into it and you take the pre-lecture quiz. The after you're done going through the pre-lecture quiz, you come back, you go through the content here, variables. It gives you an explanation, constants, data types, gives you an explanation and all. think one of the things that they did here was the so many data types that have not been that are not treated here in this. Definitely, we have numbers, we have strings, okay, we have arithmetic operators, we have booleans. After that, you have the post lecture quiz. There are a list of exercises that you can go into. Let me open this in a new tab. Okay. You have an assignment here. This is not your task. This is just based on the resources. This is not your task. Your task is different. Okay. So if you spend your whole week doing this, okay, and then you say you couldn't do your task, but you didn't have time for it, the resources. So there are some things that you will just skip for now, okay, until when you have time, or if you have time in your hands and you start early, okay, you start as from Monday today to start working on your projects, okay, it will be better, it will be good for you, okay, and to benefit you. So you can start data type, you can do this practice. It just makes you very, very rounded. If you want to go back, you come here and then you data types. I can go to this, the basic, I'll go back here. I will enter functions and methods. That's next. Okay, with functions and methods, you have JavaScript basic methods, functions. Like previously, you can just get a raw view of what is going on here by just looking at these pictures. Okay, everything is just pretty the same. You go through the content. I think there's a pre-lecture quiz, there's a post-lecture quiz. After the lecture, you do attend quiz. So that, yeah, basically that's how you go through that content. Okay, the content, the GitHub reading content. I said I want to see this. Okay, oh, this thing is just in depth. This is just in depth. You can't. As I said, that resource, that particular resource is very helpful. You can't go through this resource, this GitHub resource, and not be good in JavaScript. Oh my, so much. Whoa. I think these are like books, because I can see authors here. But basically, this is in depth. This is something you're going deep now into this deep sea. Okay, so I don't want you to get bothered with this. Okay, please. You can just focus on what is on the README and not go into any other links apart from the pre-lecture quiz and the post-lecture quiz. Okay, let's not complicate issues. Okay. But basically, after the program, you can after the lecture, you can go through all this, okay? It will benefit you, trust me. If you have spare time at your hands, you can go through all this, and it will be very, very beneficial to you. Very, very beneficial to you. Okay. After functions and methods, same thing goes for making decisions with JavaScript, arrays, and loops. This is for people that want to be go that extra mile to be superhuman in JavaScript. Okay. If you are able to grasp the concepts here, you set you up, grab the concepts and know how to do them and know when to use each and every one of them according to this resource. It will help you. Okay. So like I said, for me, you have a post and then you have task. So task is different from post. This thing is located in post. Okay, it's one of the posts. Okay, that's for me. That's based on my experience, my user experience. But outside that, basically, it's task and post. Okay. So if you still have any questions, I can just go through the chat. It's not an alternative, it's part of the resource. Okay, resources. There are some people that are not good readers. Okay, they don't consume resources by reading. And moreover, there's something about watching videos. Okay, as much as you read, you go through that resource and you're just reading it through. You want to see the application live. You want to see results be given live. The videos are not talking videos. The instructors are doing something and they're explaining what they are doing. Okay. Like I said, people are asking, okay, where can we get the resources? Where can we get? They have the LMS. If you are registered on the LMS, go into the LMS, that learning management system. That's where I got the resources from. You saw me, you saw the video, the example I gave. I basically went to the LMS to click on that resource. Okay. So go up to the LMS and you'll find the resources. And like I said, it's not an alternative. It's part of the resources that you need, okay, to go through. It's detailed, yes. And that's why I say, okay, for now you may not go through everything, and you may not start going through the four topics that were handled. Think for week one, what we just need is the first topic. Second topic is not needed. I don't think the second topic is needed for week one. No, it's not needed. Third topic is not needed for week one. The fourth topic is not, just the first one. So you just go through that short distance, do the pre-quiz exercise, do the go through the content, do the post-quiz exercise. Don't go through deep into it like you want to now. No, don't go through for the benefit of the task you'll be doing. You don't need to go deep. Okay, you will just want to scratch the surface. We're not going to tell you to go and start doing arrays. Okay. Oh, okay. So if you are okay, I don't see any other question. Yes, you can do this anytime. Those resources, you can do it like it's apart from the fact that tasks have deadlines and we want to do everything week by week. Your learning is self-paced. We're not saying consume all the materials in one day. We're not saying consume all the materials in 2 days. You have the span of 5 to 6 days to consume the materials and do your task. If you choose to do it in the night, fine. If you choose to do it in the morning, fine. It's self-paced. Okay, that they have to be this restriction of timing. Okay, a period whereby things can be done, but within that period, it's self-paced. Okay. In the absence of any other question, I would be closing this office hour right now. Okay. If you have any other question, you can go through the resources anytime before the deadline. Okay, you can go through the resources anytime. When I mean anytime, deadline or no deadline. As far as you have access to LMS, you can go through these resources. Okay, you can just easily go to week one. Like now, you're in week 2. You want to go through week 1 resources. You feel there's a concept that was treated in week 1 that you are not clear about, but you'll be needing it in week 2. You can go to week 1 resources, look into it, watch the videos, read the write-ups on week 1. You have access to these resources anytime. what is going to be limited is the task. For you to do the task, you have to do it within a period of time. The tasks are tied to the week for that resources being published. Or okay, right now they'll be publishing week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6 resources, but it will be stated there. This resource is for week 2. This resource is for week 3. This resource is for week 4. Even though it will be pasted, all of them will be posted this week. It does not mean that all of them are for week 2. No, you will see them posted there week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. The resources are there for you anytime. The task, however, have deadlines. Week 1 task is tied to week 1 resources. Week 2 task is tied to when I mean tied to week 2 task will not ask you anything that is outside the week 2 resources. Week 1 task will not give you anything that is outside the week 1 resources. So every of the answers you need that in the resources given. Okay, the resources given. Office hours, we have office hours 4 times a week. Okay, I'll just give you a brief on the timing for the office hours, and then we can call it a day. Office hours is about answering questions, as we said. Okay. We have office hours on Mondays from 3 to 5 p.m. I'll post this on, I won't post it on the LMS, okay, but I'll be posting it on the Slack group. Okay, so we can just take that into consideration when we're planning our time. Even though I know that you have it in your calendar already. Okay. Office hours from Mondays from 3 to 5 p.m. Okay. We're closing early because I can't see any other question. Okay. Office hour for Tuesday is from 2 to 3 p.m. We have office hour tomorrow, Tuesday, every Tuesday. This is every Monday we have it from 3 to 5 p.m. Every Tuesday we have it from 2 to 3 p.m. Every Thursday we have it from 2 to 3 p.m. and every Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. So we have basically office hours 4 times in a week, 5 hours every week. 4 times, but 5 hours, because today we are supposed to use 2 hours. Okay. 4 times, but 5 hours. The questions on GitHub won't be graded. The pre-test and the post-test is for your consumption. What will be graded is the task we will give you. That one you will not see that in your post, in the post section of your LMS. You sit in the task section of the LMS. Okay. Those are the ones that we are responsible for grading. The other one we're not responsible for grading. I think by the time you do the pre-test or post-test, I think they will give you a score there. They'll give you a score and all that. You will know how far you went. But that's basically that resource, okay? Just like you going through a learning program and you did a test, we put the link to the learning program for you. You did the test there. That test is for that learning program. We'll have our own separate test that we use to test you, and that's our task. Okay, thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this office hour. Okay, do have a nice day. Okay, and keep on coding. Thank you.